Today, I want to speak about a force that can transform your life. It's not talent, it's not intelligence, it's not luck. It's consistency, and it requires effort, discipline, and yes, forcing yourself sometimes. Now, consistency is the bridge between who you are today and who you want to become tomorrow. Every action you take, no matter how small, either strengthens the identity of the person you want to be or keeps you stuck in the old patterns of who you've been. But here's the truth: creating consistency is not easy. The brain is hardwired to keep you in your comfort zone where things are familiar and safe. To break free, you must challenge that wiring. Consistency is one of the most powerful tools for personal transformation because it operates at the intersection of psychology, neuroscience, and behavior. The power of repetition lies in its ability to literally rewire the brain, creating neural pathways that make desired habits and behaviors easier and more automatic over time. But to understand this fully, we need to examine how the brain responds to repeated actions and why repetition becomes the foundation of sustainable change. When you engage in a specific action or thought consistently, your brain begins to prioritize and strengthen the neural connections associated with that behavior. Think of your brain as a field of grass. The first time you walk through it, you leave a faint trail. The more frequently you walk that same path, the more defined the trail becomes, until it eventually turns into a permanent road. This is essentially what happens in your brain when you repeat an action or thought. Neurons that fire together, wire together, forming stronger and more efficient networks over time. This phenomenon is called neuroplasticity, and it's how you learn new skills, develop habits, and change patterns of thinking. The repetition not only strengthens neural pathways, but also reduces resistance. When you first start a new habit, whether it's exercising, meditating, or focusing on a project, it often feels difficult and unnatural. This resistance arises because your brain is accustomed to old patterns. It prefers to conserve energy and stick to the familiar. The act of doing something repeatedly disrupts this old wiring and signals to your brain that the new behavior is important. Over time, with enough repetition, the behavior moves from requiring conscious effort to becoming automatic, much like brushing your teeth or driving a car. This is the foundation of habit formation. Repetition is not just about doing the same thing over and over again. It's about doing it with intention. The quality of your repetition matters. If you repeat a behavior mindlessly or without focus, the results will be minimal. For instance, if you want to improve at playing the piano, simply hitting random keys repeatedly will not make you a better pianist. But if you practice specific scales and pieces with deliberate focus, your brain will encode those patterns more effectively. This is known as deliberate practice, and it's why consistency paired with focus can lead to mastery in any area of life. Beyond skill acquisition, repetition has a profound impact on how you perceive yourself. Every time you act in alignment with your goals, you reinforce a specific identity. If you show up to the gym every morning, you're not just working out, you're telling yourself, I am someone who values fitness. Each small action builds on the next, creating a sense of self-confidence and momentum. Over time, this identity becomes ingrained, and the behavior feels natural, even effortless. This is why consistent repetition is the key to long-term change. Not only are you altering your brain's wiring, but you're also redefining how you see yourself. Repetition also has a cumulative effect that extends far beyond the immediate task at hand. Small repeated actions compound over time, leading to exponential growth. The results may seem insignificant at first, but as days turn into weeks and weeks into months, the benefits start to multiply. I think of it like planting a tree. In the beginning, it's just a seed and the progress is nearly invisible, but with consistent care, watering it every day, ensuring it gets sunlight, it eventually grows into something strong and enduring. This compounding effect is one of the most underestimated aspects of consistency. The beauty of repetition is that it doesn't require perfection. It's not about never missing a day or always doing something flawlessly. It's about showing up regularly enough that the habit begins to stick. Even if you fail occasionally, the overall pattern of consistent effort is what matters most. Each repetition is a vote for the future you're creating. Over time, the accumulation of those small, consistent actions will result in significant transformation both in your habits and in your life as a whole. The power of repetition is not just about achieving goals, it's about becoming the kind of person who consistently shows up for what matters. This process rewires your brain, builds your confidence, and sets the stage for a future where the habits and behaviors you once struggled to adopt become second nature. Breaking the cycle of comfort is one of the most fundamental steps toward creating lasting change in your life. The comfort zone, by its very nature, feels safe, familiar, and easy. It's the place where routines, habits, and thought patterns exist without challenge. While it may seem harmless, this comfort zone often becomes a trap, keeping you stagnant and limiting your potential. Growth, on the other hand, is born from discomfort, from stepping into the unknown and pushing beyond what feels easy or natural. Forcing yourself to break this cycle of comfort is essential if you want to evolve into the person capable of achieving your goals. The comfort zone is your brain's way of conserving energy and protecting you from perceived threats. The brain is hardwired to prioritize safety and efficiency, which is why familiar routines feel so natural. They require minimal effort and don't trigger any internal alarms. However, this biological inclination for safety also means that anything new or challenging is often met with resistance. Whether it's learning a new skill, starting a fitness routine, or pursuing a career change, your mind will instinctively try to steer you back toward what's familiar. This resistance isn't a sign that you're incapable, it's a sign that your brain is doing its job. The challenge is to consciously override this instinct and push yourself into new territory. The process of stepping out of your comfort zone starts with understanding that discomfort is not a sign of failure but a necessary component of growth. Think about any significant skill or achievement you've gained in your life. Chances are it required a period of struggle, uncertainty, or effort that felt unnatural at first. This discomfort is where the magic happens. It's the space where you're stretching your abilities, challenging your limits, and creating new neural pathways in your brain. Each time you push through discomfort, you expand the boundaries of what you're capable of, making the previously uncomfortable feel manageable, even easy over time. Breaking the cycle of comfort also requires you to confront your fears. Fear is often what keeps people anchored in their comfort zones. It might be the fear of failure, rejection, or even success. But the truth is, most of these fears are exaggerated by the mind and rarely reflect reality. The key is to take action despite the fear, recognizing that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward in its presence. Each small step you take outside your comfort zone diminishes the power of fear and builds your confidence, creating a positive feedback loop that encourages further growth. One powerful way to disrupt the comfort cycle is to deliberately seek out challenges. This doesn't mean overloading yourself with impossible tasks, but rather setting small, achievable goals that push you slightly beyond your current limits. For example, if public speaking makes you uncomfortable, start by speaking up in small group settings. Gradually increase the level of challenge as you build confidence. This concept, known as progressive overload, is used in everything from physical fitness to personal development because it allows you to grow incrementally without becoming overwhelmed. The key is consistency. Small, repeated steps over time lead to significant breakthroughs. Another important element of breaking the cycle of comfort is shifting your mindset. Instead of viewing discomfort as something to avoid, start seeing it as a sign that you're on the right path. Reframe challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to your stability. This mental shift is crucial because your thoughts shape your emotions and your emotions drive your actions. By changing how you perceive discomfort, you empower yourself to take actions that align with your long-term goals rather than your immediate desires for ease and familiarity. Breaking the cycle of comfort is about creating a new normal for yourself. Each time you step out of your comfort zone, you're redefining what you're capable of and raising the bar for what feels possible. Over time, the actions and challenges that once felt intimidating will become part of your comfort zone, and you'll be ready to tackle even bigger goals. This cycle of growth continues indefinitely as long as you're willing to embrace discomfort and push yourself to new heights. The cycle of comfort is not broken in a single dramatic moment, but through a series of deliberate choices. Each time you resist the urge to retreat to safety and instead take a step forward, you're reshaping your reality. Growth is not meant to be easy, but it's always worth it. By forcing yourself to break free from comfort, you're unlocking the potential to achieve things you once thought were beyond your reach. Your thoughts and emotions hold immense power over your actions. They are the drivers of your daily decisions, the silent forces shaping your habits, and the foundation of your reality. To achieve consistency in any area of life, you must learn to harness the power of your mind and train it to align with your goals. It's a process that requires awareness, discipline, and a willingness to override the mental and emotional states that often lead to inconsistency. The human mind is an incredible tool, but it is also wired for efficiency, often defaulting to familiar thought patterns and emotional responses. When you attempt to make a change, whether starting a new habit, pursuing a goal, or breaking an old behavior, your mind often resists. It questions, doubts, and rationalizes why you should stay where you are. This resistance is rooted in the brain's preference for predictability and its aversion to discomfort. Overcoming this resistance begins with understanding the dynamic relationship between your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Every action you take is preceded by a thought. These thoughts, whether conscious or subconscious, are influenced by your emotional state. If your emotions are dominated by fear, doubt, or laziness, your thoughts will reflect that negativity, leading to inaction or avoidance. For example, if you wake up feeling unmotivated and think, "I'm too tired to exercise today," the likelihood of skipping your workout increases significantly. This is why training your mind to align with your goals is essential, because your thoughts and emotions will either propel you forward or hold you back. To align your mind with your goals, you must first become aware of your internal dialogue. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise when you face challenges or moments of hesitation. Are they empowering or self-defeating? Awareness is the first step, because you cannot change what you are unaware of. Once you recognize negative thought patterns, you can begin to challenge and reframe them. For instance, instead of thinking, "I'm too tired to exercise," you might replace it with, "I'll feel energized and accomplished after this workout." This simple shift in perspective can significantly impact your actions. Equally important is managing your emotional state. Emotions are energy in motion, and they directly influence the quality of your decisions. When you feel positive emotions like excitement, gratitude, or determination, you're more likely to take action toward your goals. Conversely, emotions like fear, frustration, or doubt can paralyze you. The key is learning to regulate your emotions so they support rather than hinder your consistency. Practices such as mindfulness, meditation, and deep breathing can help you calm your mind and regain control over your emotional state, especially during moments of stress or doubt. Visualization is another powerful tool for training your mind. By vividly imagining yourself achieving your goals, you activate the same neural circuits in your brain as if you were actually experiencing the success. This not only builds belief in your ability to succeed, but also creates an emotional connection to your future self. The more you align your thoughts and emotions with the version of you that is consistent, disciplined, and successful, the easier it becomes to take actions that support that identity. One of the most transformative aspects of aligning your mind is learning to act independently of your emotions. There will always be days when you don't feel like putting in the effort, when doubt creeps in, or when distractions tempt you. In these moments, you must rely on discipline rather than motivation. Discipline is about making decisions based on your goals and values, not your current emotional state. It's the ability to acknowledge how you feel without letting those feelings dictate your actions. This mental toughness is a skill that grows stronger with practice. Over time, as you consistently align your thoughts and emotions with your goals, your brain begins to rewire itself. The neural pathways associated with negative thought patterns weaken, while those linked to positive and empowering habits strengthen. This creates a feedback loop where consistent actions reinforce your belief in yourself, and that belief fuels even greater consistency. What once required conscious effort becomes automatic, and the mental struggle diminishes. Training your mind to align with your goals is about taking control of your inner world. When your thoughts and emotions are in harmony with the person you want to become, consistency becomes not just a possibility, but an inevitability. It's a process of building trust with yourself, knowing that you have the power to follow through on your intentions regardless of external circumstances. This inner alignment is the foundation of lasting change, and it begins with the decision to take responsibility for your thoughts, emotions, and actions every single day. Emotional resistance is one of the most significant barriers to consistency. It's not the physical tasks or the practical steps that stop people from achieving their goals. It's often the emotions that arise in the process. Feelings of doubt, fear, frustration, boredom, or even laziness can create an internal resistance that makes it difficult to stay consistent, even when you consciously know what needs to be done. Overcoming this emotional resistance is not just about pushing through discomfort, it's about understanding and mastering your emotional landscape so you can act in alignment with your goals, regardless of how you feel in the moment. The first step to overcoming emotional resistance is recognizing it for what it is: a natural response from your brain and body. When you step outside of your comfort zone, emotions are signals, not commands. But they often arise from past experiences, habits, or even biological instincts designed to keep you safe and conserve energy. For example, the feeling of fear might be your mind's way of protecting you from failure or embarrassment. Similarly, boredom might signal your brain's craving for novelty or distraction. Understanding that these emotions are not necessarily reflective of reality, but rather temporary states, helps you detach from them and view them as passing experiences rather than fixed obstacles. One common source of emotional resistance is the belief that you need to feel ready to take action. Many people wait for motivation or a positive emotional state before starting something, believing that they need to be inspired or in the right mood to be effective. However, waiting for the perfect emotional state is a trap. Emotions are fleeting and unpredictable, and relying on them for action often leads to inconsistency. The key to overcoming this is developing the ability to act independently of your emotions. You don't need to feel motivated to work on your goals, you just need to start. Action itself often generates the positive emotions you were waiting for, creating a sense of momentum and accomplishment that fuels further effort. Another crucial element in overcoming emotional resistance is reframing the discomfort you feel. Discomfort is not a sign that you're doing something wrong, it's a sign that you're growing. Anytime you challenge yourself to develop a new habit or skill, your brain resists because it prefers the ease of familiar patterns. This resistance can manifest as doubt, what if I fail, procrastination, I'll do it later, or even self-sabotage, I'm not good at this anyway. Instead of seeing these feelings as obstacles, start viewing them as evidence that you're on the right path. Growth doesn't happen in the absence of discomfort, it happens because of it. The more you embrace discomfort, the more resilient you become. Emotional resistance is also tied to the stories you tell yourself. When faced with a challenge, your inner dialogue can either fuel your resistance or empower you to push through it. For example, if you're working on a project and feel overwhelmed, your mind might start to say, "This is too hard." Or, "I'll never finish this." These thoughts amplify your emotional resistance and make the task feel even more daunting. By becoming aware of these narratives, you can challenge and replace them with more constructive ones, such as, "I can break this down into smaller steps." Or, "I've done hard things before and I can do this too." Changing the story changes your emotional response, making it easier to take action. One effective strategy to manage emotional resistance is to create systems and routines that reduce the need for emotional decision-making. For instance, if you struggle with consistency in exercising, set a specific time each day and lay out your workout clothes the night before. By creating an environment that minimizes resistance, you make it easier to follow through even when your emotions try to pull you off track. Habits thrive when they are tied to systems, not fleeting bursts of inspiration or willpower. Cultivating self-compassion is an often overlooked yet powerful tool for overcoming emotional resistance. Many people beat themselves up when they encounter resistance, which only deepens feelings of frustration and doubt. Instead, acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Remind yourself that it's normal to feel resistance and that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Self-compassion allows you to approach your goals with patience and resilience rather than being derailed by perfectionism or self-criticism. Overcoming emotional resistance is not about eliminating emotions altogether. It's about learning to work with them rather than against them. It's about understanding that your feelings are part of the process and not barriers to your success. When you consistently choose to act in alignment with your goals, even when resistance arises, you build a sense of confidence and mastery over your emotions. Over time, the emotions that once held you back lose their power, and consistency becomes a natural part of who you are. One of the most transformative ways to build consistency is by connecting with your future self. This concept goes beyond mere goal setting. It's about forming a deep emotional and psychological relationship with the person you want to become. By vividly imagining and emotionally engaging with your future self, you create a powerful internal motivator that can sustain you through challenges, distractions, and moments of doubt. This practice not only helps you clarify your vision, but also aligns your daily actions with the long-term identity you're striving to create. Most people struggle with consistency because they live primarily in the present moment, focusing on immediate emotions, desires, and comfort. It's easy to choose actions that feel good right now, like skipping a workout, procrastinating on a task, or indulging in unhealthy habits, because the future consequences of those choices seem distant and abstract. However, when you regularly connect with your future self, you bridge the gap between your present actions and their long-term impact. Your future self becomes real, relatable, and worth working for, making it easier to prioritize decisions that align with your goals. The first step in building this connection is creating a vivid mental image of your future self. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 5 or 10 years from now, living the life you desire. Visualize the details where you are, what you're doing, how you feel, and what you've accomplished. Don't just think about external achievements. Consider the habits, values, and mindset that this future version of you embodies. How do they handle challenges? What kind of discipline do they demonstrate? The clearer and more detailed this vision becomes, the stronger the emotional connection you'll feel to your future self. Once you have a clear picture of your future self, the next step is to align your emotions with that vision. Emotions are the driving force behind action. If your vision of the future excites you, inspires you, and fills you with a sense of purpose, you're far more likely to stay consistent in your efforts to make it a reality. On the other hand, if your future self feels distant or unattainable, it's easy to fall back into old patterns of behavior. Take time to feel the emotions associated with achieving your goals: pride, joy, confidence, and gratitude. By cultivating these feelings now, you strengthen your motivation to act in ways that bring your vision closer. Another crucial aspect of connecting with your future self is understanding the cost of inconsistency. Imagine for a moment that you continue your current habits without making any changes. Where will you be in 5 or 10 years? This exercise can be uncomfortable, but it's a powerful reminder that every choice you make today shapes your future. Will your future self thank you for the actions you're taking now? Or will they feel burdened by the consequences of procrastination and avoidance? By acknowledging the potential regret of staying stagnant, you can reframe your present challenges as opportunities to invest in a better future. To strengthen the connection with your future self, it's essential to align your daily habits with the identity you're striving to create. Ask yourself, what would my future self do today? How would they approach this task or decision? By consistently making choices that reflect the mindset and behaviors of your future self, you're not just working toward a goal, you're embodying the person you want to become. This alignment builds momentum, making it easier to stay C. A practical way to maintain this connection is through journaling or regular reflection. Take time each day or week to review your progress and reconnect with your vision. Write letters to your future self, describing how your current efforts are laying the foundation for their success. Similarly, imagine your future self writing back to you, encouraging you to keep going and reminding you of the bigger picture. This practice creates a dialogue between your present and future selves, reinforcing your commitment to long-term growth. Remember that connecting with your future self is not just about achieving external goals, it's about building a life that feels fulfilling and aligned with your deepest values. Your future self is not a distant stranger, but a reflection of the choices you make today. Every small, consistent action you take is a vote for the person you're becoming. By staying connected to that vision, you create a sense of purpose and direction that sustains you through the inevitable ups and downs of the journey. The relationship you build with your future self is one of the most empowering tools for consistency. It transforms daily actions from mere tasks into meaningful steps toward a life you're proud to live. By connecting with your future self emotionally and aligning your present actions with their identity, you create a powerful feedback loop that makes consistency not only possible but inevitable. Consistency is not a matter of luck or innate ability. It is a skill that can be cultivated through intentional effort. Developing a system to track your progress and celebrate your wins, no matter how small, is a powerful way to reinforce consistency. Humans are inherently motivated by a sense of accomplishment, and when you recognize and celebrate your progress, you create positive reinforcement that encourages you to keep going. This practice transforms your journey from a daunting challenge into a rewarding experience, helping you stay focused and motivated over the long term. Tracking your progress begins with clarity about what you want to achieve and the steps required to get there. Without a clear plan, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or lost, which often leads to inconsistency. Start by breaking your goals into smaller, measurable milestones. For example, if your goal is to write a book, your milestones might include writing a certain number of words each week or completing specific chapters by a deadline. When you break a larger goal into manageable pieces, it becomes less intimidating and more achievable. Tracking these milestones gives you a tangible way to measure your efforts and stay aligned with your objectives. There are many ways to track progress, and the method you choose should align with your preferences and lifestyle. Some people prefer digital tools like habit tracking apps, spreadsheets, or project management software. Others might find value in using a journal, calendar, or physical checklist. The key is consistency in monitoring your efforts. By regularly reviewing your progress, you gain insight into what's working, what needs adjustment, and how far you've come. This practice not only keeps you accountable, but also helps you identify patterns or obstacles that might be hindering your success. Celebrating your wins is just as important as tracking your progress. Too often, people dismiss small achievements because they seem insignificant compared to their ultimate goal. However, these small victories are the building blocks of long-term success. Each time you complete a task, hit a milestone, or overcome a challenge, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals. This positive reinforcement creates a sense of momentum and boosts your confidence, making it easier to stay consistent. Celebrate your wins in a way that feels meaningful to you, whether it's treating yourself to something you enjoy, sharing your progress with a friend, or simply taking a moment to acknowledge your effort. Celebration also serves as a counterbalance to the inevitable challenges and setbacks you'll face along the way. Consistency requires perseverance, and there will be times when progress feels slow or obstacles seem insurmountable. During these moments, reflecting on your past achievements can provide a much-needed sense of encouragement and remind you of your capability to overcome difficulties. By focusing on what you've accomplished rather than dwelling on what remains undone, you shift your mindset from frustration to gratitude and determination. Another benefit of tracking and celebrating progress is that it keeps you connected to your why, the deeper purpose behind your goals. When you're consistent in recording your efforts and acknowledging your wins, you're constantly reminded of the reasons you started in the first place. This connection to your purpose provides the motivation to push through moments of doubt or fatigue, helping you stay committed even when the journey feels challenging. Over time, this practice becomes a source of intrinsic motivation, reducing your reliance on external factors like rewards or recognition. It's also important to recognize that tracking progress and celebrating wins isn't just about achieving external results, it's about personal growth. Each step you take toward your goal represents an act of self-discipline, resilience, and commitment. By celebrating these qualities in yourself, you cultivate a stronger sense of self-worth and reinforce the belief that you are capable of achieving great things. This internal growth is what sustains consistency over the long term, as it transforms the process of working toward your goals into an expression of who you are becoming. Remember that progress is rarely linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of rapid advancement, and periods of stagnation. Tracking your progress helps you see the bigger picture and recognize that even small, incremental steps add up over time. Celebrating your wins ensures that you stay motivated and positive throughout the journey. Together, these practices create a feedback loop that reinforces consistency and keeps you moving forward even when the path feels uncertain. Consistency is built one step at a time, and every step matters. By developing a system to track your efforts and celebrating your progress along the way, you create a sustainable and rewarding approach to personal growth. This practice not only helps you achieve your goals, but also transforms the process into a meaningful journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Consistency is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the daily commitment to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your highest potential, regardless of challenges, distractions, or temporary setbacks. When you train your mind to focus on long-term goals, overcome emotional resistance, and connect deeply with the vision of your future self, you unlock a level of determination that makes progress inevitable. The key lies in recognizing that consistency isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard, and trusting that each small step forward is building something far greater than what you can see in the moment. By creating systems to track your progress and celebrating every victory along the way, you cultivate the discipline, confidence, and self-awareness needed to stay on course. Every choice, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you are becoming. Over time, the habits you build and the discipline you develop create a ripple effect, transforming not just your goals, but your entire life. The journey of consistency is one of growth, resilience, and empowerment. It requires effort, yes, but it also rewards you with a profound sense of fulfillment as you realize the incredible potential within you. So commit to the process. Embrace the discomfort, celebrate the progress, and stay deeply connected to the vision of your future self. When you choose to remain consistent, you don't just achieve goals, you evolve into the person you were always meant to be.